As we already know, Zesco is not doing any justice as far as load shedding is concerned. We have seen people going hours and others days without electricity, especially for Group E. Now the causes of this power deficit has been linked to climate change. With the way things are looking, we could have load shedding for more months, and who knows, if things get out of hand, maybe a total blackout. My name is Caleb, and let's look at the ultimate question. What if we had a total blackout? Now, a total blackout is when we experience power outage everywhere, and for context, let's imagine the entire country goes into a blackout. What could happen in the first 3 days to a week? Well, for starters, disruption of daily life. People would need to adapt to a day without electricity using alternative light sources such as candles and flashlights. Daily routines such as cooking, hygiene would be very challenging. It would also be a matter of hours before our phone batteries die. Businesses would close and economic activities would slow down. Financial transactions would be limited. Keep in mind that ATMs and banks need power to operate. Traffic lights would not function, causing congestion and accidents. If you had plans to travel out of the country, well, I am sorry, your air ticket is useless because air travel would be grounded. Remember, computers at the airport need power and the entire country just went in a blackout. Phone and internet services might be unavailable or limited. Since our communication towers are down, we would have little to zero bars. I can only imagine how the social media addicts would be feeling about that. Supermarkets and restaurants would have to close. Some food would start to go bad due to the lack of refrigeration. Water treatment plants might have to shut down due to lack of electricity. Hospitals would have to rely on backup generators, while some services might be limited. Medical equipment and refrigeration would also be affected. Don't get me started on the crime rates that might increase due to the darkness and lack of security systems. People would just be robbing anything at any time. Nobody's safe. Don't go outside the streets. Due to the blackout, let's look at the psychological impacts. People might start to have anxiety and frustration. Imagine the current world we live in. With no Facebook, no YouTube, no WhatsApp, no TikTok, no phone calls. What are you gonna do with yourself? But things are yet to get worse as we've only gone a week without electricity. What about a month? At this point, food production has ceased, hence a widespread food and water shortage leading to malnutrition and dehydration. The economy would drastically go down with businesses shutting down and the financial systems failing. Due to the blackout, the country is no longer importing nor exporting any goods, which is a very bad sign for the country as the whole dollar currency would power our currency by far. Healthcare systems would overload with hospitals being unable to maintain the crucial care services. Lives depending on oxygen supply would have died at this point, and the backup power would have given up weeks ago, and hospitals are basically useless. There would also be a transportation gridlock with fuel pumps not working and air travel grounded. At this point, vehicles are totally useless. The country would have an increased crime rate, social unrest, and potential martial law. At this point, the government would have to use military force to control the chaos. People would be looting superstores and stealing whatever they can in order to survive. I mean, money is almost worthless at this point because banks cannot process a transaction, so how are people supposed to get their goods? Environmental disasters would occur, such as power plant meltdowns, toxic chemicals being released into the environment. Remember, our industries and mines need power to manage their waste. Hence, due to no power, the harmful chemicals would be uncontrollably discharged into the environment due to an overload. Psychological trauma would begin to play part on society with an increased rate of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic disorders. Everyone, literally everyone, would go into social anarchy. At this point, it's the survival of the fittest. You have to protect yourself because someone might be out there to kill you and rob your house for whatever resources you might have. Government and social services would break down as they struggle to maintain the order due to the anarchy in society. In the long run, infrastructure would be damaged, power grids, water treatment plants, and buildings would start to deteriorate. In addition, this blackout would lead to increased mortality rates, especially for the vulnerable populations such as the elderly and young children. Displacement of people as they seek resources and safety. Breakdown of social norms and the community infrastructure. Recovering from a month-long blackout would take months, if not years, depending on the damage society has brought upon itself, and would require significant efforts to rebuild and restore crucial infrastructure, the economy, and the social systems. However, duly note that such a catastrophe is improbable, as there are many alternative solutions that can avert this crisis. However, what would happen if we had a blackout for an entire year? What if World War III occurred? What if all human beings disappeared from the planet? Now that's a story for another day. Let me hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? What should be in the next What If video?